So today was a day where Lucasfilm officially revealed Star Wars Episode 8 The Last Jedi. A moment where definitely many were highly anticipating for, and most arguably, the main highlight of Star Wars Celebration Orlando. Director Rian Johnson first revealed the teaser poster for The Last Jedi, and oh man, is it gorgeous. It's not busy, not overly complicated, it's quite minimalistic actually, and a throwback to the original Star Wars cinematic movie posters. Rey is holding the lightsaber over her head with the faces of Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren appearing in the red skyline. Neither are smiling, and it just adds to the more serious tone of the movie. I really wouldn't mind if this was the final movie poster actually. Just that good. Now for the teaser trailer. I'll do a quick trailer breakdown first, and at the end drop my opinion and analysis about it all. So, the first scene of the teaser trailer, we see a quick glimpse of Rey panting on Ahch-To as she struggles to stay up. The scene is likely her training with Luke, or maybe Luke force choking her when he first meets her. As Daisy said during the Last Jedi panel, Luke isn't everything she expected him to be. So maybe he's gone a little crazy during all those years he spent alone on Ahch-To. We next get a few long shots of the ancient Jedi temple on Ahch-To with Luke narrating in the background, presumably telling Rey to breathe, just breathe, while he's training her. Rey here is seen standing alone with no weapons as she stares into the waterfront of Ahch-To. An admittedly cool shot, which we get an even cooler shot of what it seems to be Rey using the Force to rise the rubble from the ground. During all this, Luke is telling Rey to reach out and asks her what she sees. Next we cut to a quick clip behind General Leia on a Resistance starship as she's examining a star map. Likely she's planning the Resistance's defensive plan from an incoming First Order attack. Then there's a zooming in shot of what it seems to be Kylo Ren's smashed helmet on the floor. At first I thought it was Darth Vader's helmet, which he smashed due to rage and all, as there is a little subtle Vader breathing sound in the background. However, it does seem to look a little bit more like Kylo's helmet, or maybe he smashed both helmets altogether. I wonder if he will even be wearing a helmet in this movie. I mean, it's not like he needed one in the first place anyway. During this, we hear Rey answer Luke that she sees both light and darkness. Now, this scene is really interesting. It looks like a small bookshelf, which I can only assume is located in an ancient Jedi-made cave on Ahch-To. This idea is further fueled when we see a close-up shot of a book with the Jedi Order logo on it, which was originally canonized in the Clone Wars. Along with a hand over the book, at first it looks like maybe an alien's hand, like either Maz Kanata or even Yoda. But after a second viewing, it leads me to believe that it's possibly Luke's mechanical hand or Rey's with a glove on. We get a far shot of Rey training with a lightsaber while Luke watches from afar. I guess she is showing her skills to him with it or something? No idea really what's kind of going on here or what kind of training is happening. The stones behind her do vaguely look like if it were Yoda standing on them watching Rey as well, but I think that's pushing it. In the continuing of the narration, Rey tells Luke that she also sees the balance between light and dark, to which Luke replies that it's just so much bigger. So we change locations in this scene, with what it seems to be some desolate sand planet, with what I can presume to be Resistance land attack speeders ready to intercept an attack from the First Order equivalent AT-ATs. Yep, very original, I know. The land attack speeders vaguely resemble pod racers and are treading some red dust behind them, which seems to be coming from the ground. I'm unsure whether this is supposed to be done for tactical reasons or simply for the effect. Regardless, it does look like a cool scene. Finn is seen here recovering from his battle with Kylo Ren, in what it seems to be like a more modern substitute for the Bacta tank. Here it looks like BB-8 and Poe Dameron are running through a Resistance starship in an attempt to get to his X-Wing as the First Order are presumably attacking it. But right before he can get to it, it looks like the hangar takes heavy fire. Whether Poe's X-Wing is still functioning after this remains to be seen. The Millennium Falcon is seen next blowing up First Order TIE fighters in what it could be on Ahch-To. I'd say it's likely that Chewie is piloting the Falcon at this moment while Rey is still boots to the ground. She's actually seen next, later in the day, what it seems, with her lightsaber ignited and angrily chasing someone. I'd say either Luke, Kylo Ren, or First Order troops. Afterwards, here is Kylo Ren pointing his lightsaber into the camera, with no helmet on of course, and showcasing his scar he got from Rey. During this, we hear Luke narrate that he only sees one truth. This cuts to a scene which it looks like to be a flashback from Force Awakens, where Luke was with R2-D2 and are looking upon a burning temple. Could this be Luke's Jedi temple? This scene we see Captain Phasma moving towards the camera from the distance with the First Order troops behind her. However, I don't think this is from the same scene. Rather, probably Phasma boarding a disabled Resistance capital ship instead. We now see a big space battle between the Resistance and the First Order. We can spot a few A-Wings in the battle, along with a defensive line of some new Resistance starships. Where the Resistance got the budget for these new ships, I have no idea. But they're here now. They seem to be fighting over what it looks like to be maybe Act 2? Finally, we see a scene of a shadowy Luke standing at the exit of a cave on Act 2, telling Rey that it's time for the Jedi to end. And that's where the teaser trailer ends. Powerful stuff. So what I can get from this trailer is Luke is probably hesitant at first on training Rey, but eventually agrees. The First Order then somehow finds out the location of Luke and Rey and start to make their attack run. Leia and the Resistance catch wind of this and set up a defensive blockade in space in order to intercept the attack. However, I don't think it fully works, as some of the First Order ships manage to get through the planet, and it's up to Chewie and the Falcon to take them out. Kylo Ren may also get to Act 2 and try to take out Luke, with Rey trying to stop him before he gets there. But that's all I could really piece from through the trailer. My opinion, on the other hand, may be an unpopular one. I made it clear before that I wasn't a fan of The Force Awakens, and I lost a lot of hope in Disney owning the Star Wars IP after that. That hope was fortunately restored after with Rogue One, and I figured I'd give Disney one last chance with The Last Jedi. Now, while this teaser was nice to see, I'm still not sold. Like Force Awakens rehashed A New Hope, I was very worried that The Last Jedi would do the same with Empire Strikes Back. So far, we are getting scenes similar to Empire, with Rey training alone with a Jedi Master, a desert Hoth battle, which looks like Hoth but replaced with snow with white and red sand, and the Rebel air speeders are instead Resistance land attack speeders. Same goes for those First Order AT-AT equivalents. However, that's all I could see that I can compare from with Empire, thankfully. So there's still some chance that this movie won't be what I fear it to be. I'll wait and reserve my final opinion until I see more, but so far I can't say I'm as excited as I was when I first saw Rogue One teaser trailer. I'm extremely reserved about The Last Jedi. It hasn't done enough to make me excited for it. And maybe if it turns out that Benicio del Toro's character is Ezra Bridger, that may change things a little bit for me for sure. Also, I feel like that space battle in the movie seems a little forced. People were complaining that Force Awakens didn't have a real space battle, and praised Rogue One for having an amazing one. Yeah, sure, but I got why we didn't get that in Force Awakens. The Resistance and First Order are far incredibly weaker than their counterparts of the Rebel Alliance and Galactic Empire. They simply didn't have those kinds of resources, especially Resistance. So seeing them suddenly get all these ships and cruisers kind of pulled me out of it all. Of course, if they do explain that these ships are actually owned by the Republic Navy, that would definitely change my tune in all of this. Well, that's all of my thoughts on The Last Jedi and the teaser trailer for now. I'm faithful we'll see a little more in the full trailer in a few months from now. And I hope that will really excite me for this movie, because I really want to be excited, believe me. We'll just have to see. As for now, see you on the next one.